All right, so we're going to be taking notes over the distributive property. Okay, numeric expressions can be simplified using PEMDAS or also by using distributive property. So remember, whenever we did the parentheses first, and then we showed multiplication by when there was nothing between the number and the parentheses. Well, today we're going to use the distributive property, okay? And there's a graphic here. We're going to take our outside number and multiply it with both the inside numbers. So we're going to take our outside number and distribute it. So we're going to do first, we're going to do 3 times 5. Then see how we just repeat the add sign? And then we're going to distribute the 3 again. And this time we're going to do 3 times 4. Okay, so here 3 times 5 is simply 15, and 3 times 4 is 12. And then 15 plus 12 is simply 27. Now remember, I can combine those two because they are simply just numbers. Okay, now here we're going to do the distributive property again. So we're going to multiply 6 with both the numbers on the inside. So we have 6 times 8. But now this time we have minus, so we're going to copy the minus. And then we're going to do it again. We're going to do 6 times 3. Okay, now we're going to simply multiply. 6 times 8 is 48. And then 6 times 3 is 18. And because they are still like terms, we can still combine them. So 48 minus 18 is 30. Now we could have done that doing the same thing. We could have done parentheses first and then multiplied by the outside number, and we would have gotten the same thing. So that's true why the distributive property works. Now, the reason why we use the distributive property is because we're not always going to have the same terms. So let's look at algebraic expressions. Can only be simplified with distributive property because I can't add b plus 2 if I don't know what b is. So that's why we're going to think of this always using the distributive property. So let's think of it this way here. We have 3 groups. Let's think of this outside number as our groups, okay? So we have 3 groups of B and 3 groups of 2, okay? So here we have our 3 groups. See how we have 1, 2, 3 groups. Our triangles can be B. So I'm going to put B's over our triangles. And then we have 3 groups of a positive 2. So you see here how 3 times B is simply just 3B. And then plus 3 times 2 is 6. And see how we have 6 positives over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 3b plus 6. Now I cannot combine the b and the 6 because they are not like terms. Okay? All right, let's try another one here with subtraction this time. And again, my outside number is my number of groups. So if you notice, I have 5 groups this time. And we have 5 groups, we can say, of A in each group, and then of -3 in each group. So we're going to multiply 5 times the A, bring down the subtraction, and then we're going to do 5 times 3. So 5 times A means that I simply have 5 A's. And then 5 times 3 would be 15. Now again, I cannot combine the 5a with the 15 because they are not like terms. Okay? All right, now let's do a few more practices here. So remember, we're going to take our outside number and multiply it with both the numbers on the inside. So we should be multiplying 3 by both parts. Okay, so we're going to do 3 times 2a plus 3 times 6. Okay, so 3 times 2a, we know 3 times 2 is 6. Don't forget to put your a behind it. And then we have a plus sign, so we carry our plus sign, and then 3 times 6 is 18. So our final answer is 6a plus 18. Same thing here. We're going to take our outside number, which is 5, and we're going to multiply 5 with y. Then we're going to put a subtract, and then we're going to multiply 5 with the 4. So here we're going to do 5 times y minus 5 times 4. So when we multiply it, 5 times y is simply 5y, and 5 times 4 is simply 20. So our final answer is 5y minus 20. All right, for these next few, you can also have the integers. So we're going to use our monkey face. Remember that a negative times a negative is a positive, and a positive times a negative is going to be a negative. So we see here we have negative 3 as our distributor. So we're going to do negative 3 times x, and then we're going to have negative 3 times 2. Okay? So negative 3 times x is simply negative 3x, and negative 3 times 2 is simply a negative 6. Okay? Let's do that again. We're going to multiply 2 with both the numbers on the inside. So I'm going to put my 2's first. And then we're going to have 2 times 2x minus 2 times 5. And again, we're simply going to follow that pattern. We're going to multiply. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times 2x, we have to remember to put the x behind the 4. So it would be 4x. Minus 2 times 5, which is 10. So our final answer there would be 4x minus 10. Here now we're going to do negative 4 times negative 3 plus negative 4 times 5x. Okay, and now we're going to do our multiplication first. So negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12, plus negative 4 times 5x is negative 20x. And we cannot combine them anymore since they are not like terms. All right, we're going to do a few more without the little graphic, just to show you what to do. Remember, we're going to take our 5 and we're going to multiply it with both the numbers on the inside. So we're going to write 5 times 4 first. Then if we see a plus sign, we're going to copy our plus sign. Then second, we're going to do 5 times n. 5 times 4, we're going to do our multiplication next. Bring down our plus sign. 5 times 4 is 20. And 5 times n is 5n. And since these are unlike terms, we are done. So our final answer is 20 plus 5n. All right, let's do this one here. We have negative 2 times y, so we're going to write negative 2 times y minus negative 2 times 8. Okay, so we have negative 2 times y, which is negative 2y. Remember that double negative, we're going to add the opposite. So we're going to call that a positive. So now 2 times 8 would be 16. So our final answer would be negative 2y plus 16. All right, last one. Are we ready? All right. Remember, we're going to multiply the 12 with both the numbers on the inside. So we're going to have 12 times 2a plus, and then do 12 times 4. Okay, we're going to remember multiply before we add. 12 times 2a would be 24a, plus 12 times 4 would be 48. And now we are done since we cannot combine them anymore.